It has somehow deepened his faith in the Lord Yahawah and told him dependence on him. It should be noted that David later lived the same kind of existence and emerged from it spiritually stronger. Jephthah still had flaws, as we shall see, but he did have a basic understanding of Yahweh's special relationship with Israel, which you can read in Judges 11:21, chapter 11, verse 21, 23, and 24. Although these negotiations appear to be a purely human transaction, Yahweh was directing them. In the end, it was he who worked in Jephthah to bring victory. Verses 29 and 32. These studies and judges remind us that Yahweh is not limited either in the kind of deliverer he chooses or in the method by which he calls the person. Each episode in Judges is unique, or each account, but Yahweh's sovereignty is evident on all. The elders responded to Jephthah's questions with this even stronger declaration. The Lord be witness between us if we do not according to thy words, which was Judges 11 and 10. This constituted a solemn oath. They called Yahweh as witness against themselves if they should fail to fulfill all they had promised Jephthah. Genesis 31 and 50, 1 Samuel 20 and 23. This clearly implied that they would deserve Yahweh's severe punishment if they broke their agreement. To Israelites, oaths were considered so binding that they put an end to all arguments. Hebrews 6 and 16. Therefore, the law required that all oaths be strictly fulfilled. Numbers 30 and 2, Deuteronomy 23 and 21 and 23. They were expected to swear by Yahweh's name, Deuteronomy 6 and 13, but forbidden to swear by the name of a false god. What's that? Joshua 23 and 7. Swearing falsely was prohibited. Leviticus 19 and 12, and the punishment for doing so was severe. Deuteronomy 19, verses 16 to 20. So that makes me speak on this. So people wonder about you got to remember, like in the book of Deuteronomy with the curses, 28. When it talks about all the different curses, you know what I mean? Like you had the blessings from 1 to 15, and then you had the curses from 15 to 72 or something like that. At the end of the day, what's that in Exodus? I would have to exactly go get it, but I might have it marked. It talks about we were married onto the Most High when we agreed when He pulled us up out of Egypt. Here you go, right here. Matter of fact, and that's the spirit. This is Exodus, chapter 19, verse 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself. Verse 5. Now therefore ye will be Salaki. Now therefore ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant. Then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Verse 7. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded. Verse 8. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto Yahweh. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud. Well, that's the point. Well, I'm going to finish it out. That the people may hear when I speak with them and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. So that's talking about a chariot. But basically in verse 8, you're seeing how basically it was like a marriage proposal. That's why they say that we were pretty much, that's why it said the Messiah, and the bride and the bridegroom, we're, the Lord and, the Most High looks upon us as like we're married to him because we agreed to it. We made an oath, you know what I'm saying? That's why these curses hit us so hard. Back in the expositor. Where am I? Regardless, by New Testament times, the Jews often use oaths indiscriminately and frivolously. Yahushua condemned this. Matthew 23, 16 and 22. And I would have to go actually check that out and urge his followers to avoid oaths entirely, allowing their honest words and actions to speak for themselves. They're, using precepts and, Like I said, I would have to actually check into that. But they're using Matthew 5:34 to 37 and James chapter 5 and 12. Nevertheless, Paul deemed it necessary to evoke Yahawah as his witness before potentially skeptical readers, which Paul did a lot. He did that in 2 Corinthians 11 and 31 and Galatians 1 verse 20. Jephthah's agreement, Judges 11:11. Now convinced of their sincerity, Jephthah accompanied the elders back to Gilead, where the people made him head and captain over them. The elders' proposal was now ratified by the general populace. The two titles given signified, as already noted, the combination of civil and military power conferred on him. This ceremony took place at Mizpeh. Several places with the name, which means watchtower, appear in the Old Testament. This one in Gilead is probably the same one at which Jacob and Laban had made their vow of peace, which you can read in Genesis 31, verses 48 to 52. Jephthah made this place his home from this time on, which you can read in Judges 11 and 34. The statement that Jephthah repeated this agreement in the presence of the Lord tells us at least two things. First, Jephthah responded to the oaths of the elders and people with an oath of his own, committing himself to the new responsibilities. Second, his installation was a spiritual matter with the Lord as witness. Jephthah thus recognized that his call came from Yahawah himself. The ill vows vowed. Then the spirit of Yahawah came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpeh of Gilead, and from Mizpeh of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into mine hand. Verse 31, Then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it for Salakia, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. The Lord's provision, Judges 11, chapter 11, verse 29. Although the Ammonites had invaded, Jephthah did not immediately attack them. He first tried to persuade them to withdraw from land that was not rightfully theirs. His negotiations, verses 12 to 27, exhibit a remarkable, accurate understanding of Israel's history and land claims. The Ammonites, however, refused to be persuaded. Verse 28. Now Jephthah, strengthened by the spirit of Yahawah for his military campaign, crisscrossed the Transjordan territory recruiting troops. Gilead included Reuben and Gad. Manasseh is mentioned separately because most of it lay north of Gilead and Bashan. He mustered them to Mizpah, the main encampment, and from there they moved eastward to engage the Ammonites. Yahawah blessed them with a resounding victory. Jephthah's vow, Judges 11:30-31. A tragic note mars this story of joyous success. Before leaving Mizpeh, Jephthah vowed that if Yahawah gave victory over the Ammonites, he would offer as a burnt offering whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me. Although he attended this as an act of devotion, it reveals his abysmal ignorance of Yahweh's laws. What did Jephthah expect to happen when he returned? Did he believe an animal would first come out to meet him, and would it be clean? And would it be a clean animal suitable for a burnt offering? We can only conclude that Jephthah, though zealous for Yahweh's glory, was woefully ignorant of his character and will. He suddenly awakened to the tragic consequences of his vow when his daughter and only child came out joyfully to greet him. His joy turned to grief, and his victory to humiliation. Judges 11:34 and 35. Did Jephthah offer his daughter as a burnt offering? Some have shrunk from this and argued that instead she was condemned to perpetual virginity. And that's Esau for you. But it is difficult to avoid the meaning of the words she returned unto her father, who did her according to his vow, meaning that he sacrificed her. Deep. That's the first time. Judges 11:39. It is a sad ending and poignant. It is a sad ending and a poignant reminder that the days of Judges were a time of superstition and semi-paganism, even among Yahweh's people. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Gotta remember, like the laws, statutes, and commandments, like the Most High set up everything with a system and an order. You know what I mean? And when you follow that order, everything actually works out to your benefit. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, though, our power is a consuming fire. So where's that in? I believe in the book of Hebrews. Let me find that real quick. But to end this lesson, well, I'm gonna find that in the book of Hebrews, and I'm gonna end this. But I take that different. When they talk about paganism, you know, what's that in? I'm gonna read that real quick. You got what is that in Book of Numbers about the blood? Like you got paganism, motherfuckers that be drinking blood and doing all that old weird ass goofy shit, and sodomy and all that old crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like our God, our power, Yahawah by Hashem Yahushua. This is Book of Numbers 35 and 33, because our power doesn't talk about anything with drinking blood. Our power actually is a balance. If blood was shed, blood shall be shed. That's Book of Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit wherein I dwell, for the Lord dwell among the children of Israel. Because the only way to cleanse this land is defile that place that was got with blood is by the blood of those who defiled it. And that's clear cut scripture. But like I said, they say in the book of Hebrews, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna end that with that, is because it say this emphasizes Yahweh's grace, which I'm pretty sure any man that's of the hopeful elect can understand the grace, because when you think about it, I mean, it say if you break one law, you broke them all, so we all deserve death, rightly so. But at the same time, although he never condones sin, he rescues his people from consequences of their sins, and he used flawless instruments to do it. And when you it's the book of Hebrews 12 and 29. No, I'm gonna start at 28. Wherefore we received a kingdom which cannot be moved. Let us have grace whereby we may serve Yahawah by Hashem Yahushua acceptably with reverence and godly fear. Verse 29, for our power is a consuming fire. So, at the end of the day, we did a lot of burnt offerings. So I'm going to end that this lesson on that note. I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahawah by Hashem Yahushua. YAHAWAH, Kadash, Barakatah. That will honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone.